I was surprised to hear the Pope speak in English. It seems like the majority of his speeches that we're going to hear here in the U.S. are actually going to be in Spanish.
Yes, it's an effort for him to speak English. This is his first visit to the United States. He's never lived in an English-speaking country, but I know that he was working very hard on a number of this. So I'm not sure if he's scheduled to speak in English tomorrow at the Congress.
And the reason why I brought that up is because it really kind of points also to what, in essence, he's advocating here when he's in the U.S. He's advocating a stance on immigration, on income inequality.
Also, you noticed what he said to the president, religious liberty. And he not only talked in general terms about religious liberty, but identified himself with what he called his brother bishops of the United States, who have a very deep concern about the religious liberty issues related to the health care bill.
So what is his goal then, being here, first time here in the U.S., only the third pope to meet with a U.S. president? What does he want to get out of talking to President Obama?
It would actually be a fourth pope meeting with the U.S. president, because Paul VI did this in the 1960s. I think what he wants to do is be a pastoral presence, first and foremost, to the Catholic population, but also to witness to the dignity and the importance of the family. Remember, that was the reason that the Pope came to the United States. At the end of this week, he will be meeting in Philadelphia, but also to speak about some of these other things, like the encyclical that he wrote, Laudato Si', which has concern about the environment, the poor, the marginalized, immigrants, as he started off in his first speech. Really resonated with me, because when I met the Pope 2 years ago, the first thing I said to him in Italian, I said, you know, we're both Italian Americans. So, you know, he speaks to the immigrant population from that generation right up to the present. And
what about climate change? I mean, it seems like a lot of people who do love the Pope are not excited about his stance on climate change, saying, look, it shouldn't be from the pulpit that he talks about that.
Well, I think the concern is that if the Pope is going to delve into the intricacies of the science of climate change, the cause of climate change, much less the remedies for whatever change there may be in the climate, that this is kind of veering off the centrality. I think people would be less concerned if the Pope says, look, we have a stewardship obligation to our environment, because that's what God entrusted to man and woman in the Garden of Eden. But beyond that, getting into the policy stuff, like immigration, like concern for the poor, how do we do this stuff is a little less central to the Church's teaching.
What does President Obama want to get out of these conversations? I mean, it's obviously good PR for him to be next to the Pope, but what does he actually get?
Well, he gets a bump in the ratings, because, I mean, this Pope is incredibly popular in the United States, not just among Catholics, but among a lot of other people. So every photo op he can get with the Pope, and also whatever he can do to link himself to the Pope in terms of his policies. I think this is very delicate dance that's going on here right now.
No, you raise a good point. Also a delicate dance, I have to assume, within members of Congress who may be Catholic, but who are Republicans, or Democrats for that matter, and who might disagree with things like climate change, like gay marriage, like abortion, and sort of what the Pope believes. What kind of internal dynamics does that kind of bring out within the political landscape?
Well, as you can well imagine, I mean, these are people who are running for office constantly, so they want to be associated with him. And in a way, he has the perfect opportunity to be an equal opportunity offender, if you will. I don't mean that in a literal sense, but in that he's going to offer challenges to both sides of the aisle. He doesn't come at this as a politician, as a policy wonk. He comes at this as a pastor, as the leader of the Catholic Church, and everybody's going to be dancing around to see if they can get a part of that popularity.